Who Controls the World? A deep dive into power, manipulation, and the future. Welcome to another episode of our podcast where we dissect the hidden forces that shape our world. Today, we take a deep dive into the structures of power, the elites who control global decisions, the role of technology, and the future of decentralization. We explore historical powerhouses, modern institutions, and how social engineering is being used to manipulate public perception. That's right. The idea is to connect the dots and understand how power functions behind the scenes. Who really pulls the strings? How do governments, corporations, and secret societies operate? And most importantly, can we break free from this system? The hidden power structures of the past. Historically, the world has been controlled by a select group of powerful families and banking dynasties. Families like the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Morgans, and Warburgs have shaped global finance, influencing wars, economies, and politics for centuries. Exactly. The Rothschild family dominated European banking for generations, financing both sides of wars, while the Rockefellers built an empire through oil and later extended their influence through philanthropy and corporate investments. J.P. Morgan controlled American finance and played a key role in the creation of the Federal Reserve. These families didn't just accumulate wealth, they shaped policies, controlled industries, and manipulated political systems to maintain their dominance. The modern power players, fast forward to today, and power has shifted from aristocratic families to corporate giants and global institutions. Companies like BlackRock and Vanguard own major stakes in nearly every major corporation, from tech giants like Google and Microsoft to pharmaceutical companies and media networks. Then there are the institutions that set the global agenda. The World Economic Forum, WEF, the Bilderberg Group, and the Trilateral Commission. These organizations bring together world leaders, business moguls, and policymakers behind closed doors to strategize the future without public scrutiny. And let's not forget the central banks and the International Monetary Fund, IMF. These institutions manipulate monetary policies, controlling inflation, interest rates, and national debt, making countries dependent on their financial structures. The role of technology in power and control. One of the most effective tools for maintaining control today is technology. The internet, once a space of free expression, is now dominated by big tech, Google, Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon, all of which have close ties to intelligence agencies and governments. Surveillance capitalism is now the norm. Everything from search engines to social media platforms collects data on individuals, shaping behaviors, controlling narratives, and, in some cases, silencing dissent. And let's not forget AI and blockchain. While AI is being used to automate decision-making and predict behaviors, blockchain presents a paradox. It can either decentralize power or become a tool for even greater control, depending on who controls its development and implementation. The rise of technocracy. A major shift we're witnessing is the move toward technocracy, where experts, engineers, and AI systems make decisions instead of democratically elected governments. This concept is heavily promoted by Klaus Schwab and the WEF under the guise of the Great Reset. The Great Reset is a vision where governments, corporations, and AI shape society in a more efficient way. The problem? Efficiency often means control. One of the most alarming aspects is the push for digital identities and central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, which could mean total financial surveillance. Essentially, they want to create a system where you own nothing and be happy, while the elites consolidate more wealth and power. The future in 5 years. Blockchain, AI, and decentralization. One big question is, what will the world look like in 5 years? Blockchain is often seen as a tool for decentralization, but will it still be relevant? Some argue that new technologies could replace it, making it obsolete. Right now, blockchain is evolving. The biggest threat to its survival is quantum computing, which could break its encryption. However, networks like Polygon and Ethereum 2.0 are working on quantum-resistant solutions. Still, alternative systems like DAGI, directed acyclic graph, could emerge, shifting power once again. And AI will play an even bigger role in governance, with machine learning algorithms dictating economic policies, censorship, and even predicting potential threats. The real question is whether AI will be controlled by open-source communities or a few mega corporations. So where does that leave us? If the system is rigged, how do we escape it? The solution isn't trying to reform it. It's building something new outside of it. That's why initiatives like Form IQ are so important. Exactly. The vision is to create a self-sustaining community that operates outside traditional economic structures. This means autonomous housing, building efficient, modular homes that don't rely on corporate supply chains. Energy independence, using renewable energy sources to cut dependency on centralized power grids. Decentralized finance, using cryptocurrencies like BuildCoin as a trade system within the community. Independent communication networks, creating secure ways to share information without relying on big tech. True scientific inquiry, encouraging open-source research instead of corporate-funded science. The idea is simple. The more independent a community is, the less it can be controlled. We don't have to fight the system. We just need to make it irrelevant to our daily lives. Final thoughts. Can we wake people up? The biggest challenge isn't just building this system. It's finding people willing to break free from the current one. Many have been conditioned to accept control as normal. That's why education and awareness are key. People need to understand that what they accept today determines what kind of world they will live in tomorrow. Once they see the patterns of control, they can start making conscious choices to resist it. So the question isn't, can we save everyone? The question is, how do we create a space where those who want freedom can thrive? And that's the real fight. Not trying to wake up the whole world, but making sure that those who are awake have a place to go. That's it for today's episode. If this conversation resonated with you, share it, and let's start building the world we actually want to live in. See you next time.